Now we discuss about mapping function in cache memory. So the number of blocks in cache memory and the number of blocks in main memory are not equal. The size of cache is smaller and size of main memory is larger. So the number of blocks will differ in cache memory and main memory. To correspondent to make correspondence between this cache memory and main memory, we are following one technique called mapping function. Consider here one example. We consider cache has 128 block and main memory have 4096 blocks. Each block contains 16 words in both cache memory and in main memory. So the total number of words in cache is 2k words and the total number of words in main memory is 64k. So here I have drawn this example. So cache memory have 0 to 127. So total 128 blocks, and in main memory we have 0 to 4095. So totally 4096 blocks. So for mapping function we have three techniques. One is direct mapping, and the second one is associative mapping. Third one is set associative mapping. First we see about direct mapping. We are taking the same example for cache and main memory. Cache memory contains 128 blocks and main memory contains 4096 blocks. We consider one example here. So if we want to retrieve the block 432 from main memory to cache memory, then we see how mapping is established. In direct mapping we have one formula called modulo formula. So in direct mapping the mapping is done using modulo operation. See this formula. The block we want to move from main memory is 432 and the number of blocks in cache memory is 128. We are taking the modulo operation for this. The result will be 48. So the data in this block 432 will be mapped to this block 48. This is how mapping is done in direct mapping technique. Here we see little more in detail about direct mapping. So as we already seen, our cache contains 128 blocks and our main memory contains 4096 blocks. So now we want to map this 4096 into this 128 blocks. See, the size is different, so many number of blocks needs to be reside in one location. So the more number of blocks will reside in one location in cache. For example, in block 0 we may need to store the contents of block 0, block 128, block 256 and so on. It goes on like that. We may need to store 32 blocks in main memory in single location of cache memory. In case if block 0 and block 128, these two blocks in RAM, that is main memory, needs to have access at the same time, then contention problem will occur. Contention is a problem when one or more blocks of RAM needs to access a particular block in cache, means we call it as contention problem. So during this time we may need to remove one of the block and the other block will be restored. Using some replacement algorithm we are performing this. This condition occurs even when the cache is not full. Usually when the cache is full we may go for a replacement algorithm, but in this case, in the contention case, we may need to replace the block even when the cache is not full. So this is one of the biggest problem in direct mapping. So the problem in direct mapping is contention, that is when two or more blocks of main memory needs to access a particular block in cache memory, then the problem will occur. This problem is called as contention problem, and this will be eliminated in next techniques. Now we see the memory address of direct mapping. The memory address contains three fields: tag, block, word. So the memory address in cache memory is divided into three fields: tag, block, and word. Word contains 4 bits, block contains 7 bits, and tag contains 5 bits. Totally 16 bit. So it is a 16-bit address. We are discussing only 16-bit address. So the main memory address is divided into 3 fields. One field is for word, next field is for block, next one is for tag. So see here, this is how the arrangement is made, and all data belongs to main memory will be mapped to cache memory using this bit status. Let us explain these bits in detail for you. So see, word has 4 bits. 4 bits means 0 0 0 0 to 1 1 1 1. So total number of possibility is 16. So this is a block contains, we already seen, a block contains 16 words. So this is how the 16 word is formed. Next one is block. Block contains 1 0 2 3 4 5 6 7. So total 7. 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 7 zeros to 7 ones. So that means statistics from 0 to 127. Totally 128. Similarly for tag, 0 0 0 to 111. So total 31, 32. So total number of case here is 32, here is 128, here is 16. This is how the entire memory address is split, and it will be accessed in the same way. For example, you consider, so here we have one address. This address will be like this, 16 bits. The 4 bits is referring the word in the block. So totally we have 128 blocks, and this 1010 will refer the 32 blocks. In each block, the tag, this tag will have 32 possible address locations. So this is how the overall direct mapping is working. Next technique is associative mapping. So the main memory address is having only 2 fields here. One field is word, another field is tag. The word field is least 4 bits, that is least significant 4 bits, and the remaining bits are for tagging. So here we no need to do any modulo calculation or anything else. The main memory blocks, whatever the main memory block, it can be placed anywhere in cache block. There is no specific location. We can place anywhere in the cache block. If you identify any block is free, we can place in that block. So we don't have any contention problem here. But the problem is, if a processor requests for some address, then the cache memory has to compare the address with all the tag bits. So we have 128 tag bits in cache memory. The comparison has to be made in all 128 tags. So the searching is a drawback here, but space is used efficiently. We no need to worry about the space, because wherever free we can use that space, and if it is full we can use some replacement algorithm. Whatever the replacement algorithm efficient, we can use such a replacement algorithm and we can manage. The cost of associative memory will be high due to the associative search compared to direct mapping. Direct mapping cost is very low, and due to search of 128 tags, so the associative search will be very complex. So if we do that search in parallel, we can improve the performance of associative mapping. set associative mapping. The combination of direct and associative mapping is set associative mapping. Here we are using both direct mapping concept and associative mapping concept in set associative mapping. The catch blocks of set associative mapping are grouped into sets like this. You have 128 tags, so 2 tags combined to form one set. Like this we are tagging all things. So we have totally 128 tag, that is blocks, and we have 64 set. So how direct mapping works here? See, if you want to access any data, if you want to store 255, you have to take 255 mod 64. Why 64? We have only 64 sets. So see here, the data 0, 64, 128 etc. up to 4032 are stored in set 0, catch set 0. The set 0 contains 2 blocks. So we no need to worry about contention problem here. The problem is overcome, because if 2 data want to get the access in set 0, we can able to place both datas. But in direct mapping we will be having only one data, it has to be replaced. This problem is overcome here. And also we no need to search associative search. We no need to make associative search for all 128. Instead we can do only for 64 set. So this also, the searching also reduced. So both techniques combinedly forms some advantage on this set associative mapping. Not only this, we can, instead of pairing 2 things, we can pair 4 things into one set. So it improves the performance. So like that, set associative mapping is functioning. Let me conclude the mapping function with a small comparison. So direct mapping will have contention problem, so it is not flexible. Whereas associative mapping is flexible, we can store data at any location, but it is costly due to associative search. But set associative mapping is flexible, contention issue also resolved. We no need to go for a costly associative search, the associative search also reduced. So set associative mapping is preferably good than direct and associative mapping. So one more thing we want to confirm here, finalize here, that is, we have a special bit in cache memory blocks called valid bit. We are following this one valid bit in cache memory block. So this valid bit is 0 or 1. If it is 0, that particular block is not in use. If it is 1, the particular block is currently in use. In cache memory you have 128 blocks, right? That 128 blocks, which blocks are in use, which blocks are not in use, is decided by this valid bit. For example, this bit is set to 0 when power is turned on. If you are switching on your computer, so you want to load your RAM data, so you are just starting the process. So what will happen means, in cache all the blocks are set to 0. Similarly, when some new data is moved into memory, main memory, if you are opening one application, one new application, what happens? That application files are moved from your secondary storage to your main memory. During that time also, the cache blocks are set to 0. When it will be set to 1? It is set to 1 only during data transfer from main memory to cache memory. If you are transferring some data from main memory to cache memory, then the fields are set to 1. It indicates that the main memory is responsible for running any application at the time. So whatever data available in main should be in cache, so that the processor can take it easily, the performance of computer will be better. So this valid bit is one of the important bit. Apart from we already studied one bit called modified bit or dirty bit. Apart from this bit, this valid bit also present in cache memory.